This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 401 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's tip is sponsored by ECOGOLD, high-performance products for the ultimate in comfort and protection for your horse. Visit them at ecogold.ca. Howdy, everybody. Glenn the Geek back with you from Lexington, Kentucky, and welcome back to Horse Tip Daily. You know, I have someone on today that we've had on many times before, and everybody seems to enjoy her tips, so we're having her back, and that's Mary Lauritsen. Mary is part of the Cadence Farm team there in Massachusetts, and she's been heavily active campaigning in dressage since the age of 10. She also is a regular co-host over on the Dressage radio show, but today she joined me for a tip, and we're glad, as I said, to have her back to do that. She's earned many medals, and she's doing very well as a young rider, and she just has the most practical things to talk about. So, and she just, to be honest with you, just a plain delight to talk to. She's, what 21-year-old doesn't use like every other word? I am thrilled. And we're going to be back with Mary in just a moment. But first, I got to tell you about EcoGold. You know, I've been sharing EcoGold's story with you for a long time now. That's ecogold.ca out of Canada. They make the high-performance pads and boots that are non-slip, 100% breathable, and the ultimate in comfort and protection for your horse. You know, I want you to stop over to their website. They have some really cool videos on there. One of them with the axe you have to be sure to watch. If that doesn't impress you, nothing will. That video is tremendous. So stop on over and see them using the axe on one of their boots and tell me that your horse won't be protected better and with a higher quality product than that from ecogold.ca. Stop on over, ecogold.ca. They are the products that are used by top riders across the world. All right, this tip is from Mary Lauritsen. Tip number 2 for Mary. Well, hi, Mary, and welcome back to Horse Tip Daily.
Thanks, Glenn. Good to be here.
Well, it's always fun to talk to you, and it's always fun to hear what you have to say in your tips because they're ever so practical. You have very practical tips.
Thank you. I hope so.
Yeah, you do. And, you know, for a girl that's only 21 years old, you're wise for your years because you've been riding for so many years. So,
yep, since the very beginning.
So your mom's been out there cracking the whip, and you've been riding.
Yep.
Well, and I got to meet you and your mom at Rolex. Was it Rolex this year?
It wasn't. It was actually the North American Young Rider Championships, but held
that's right.
But right in Lexington, where the Rolex is held. So
yeah, that's right. I knew I met you at one of those events this year. We got to hang out together, and I actually, will you please witness for everybody in the audience that I watched dressage?
Yes, Glenn watched dressage, and that was a remarkable day, I think. Something to go down in the books.
And if I remember right, the comment from your mother was, wow, you know more about dressage than I thought you would. So.
Did she really say
yes,
that?
Yes, she did.
Oh, my gosh.
So, you know, I do, and it comes from all these, 25 years of watching it, so.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it was so nice to meet you there.
Well, it's fun. We're going to get to see you again, I'm sure, in the next year, somewhere around the country.
Definitely.
All right. So what are we talking about today? How are we helping people?
Today we are going to talk about trailering, more so do's and don'ts. More the do's and less the don'ts.
All right.
Cool. So we've all dealt with them, the horses that will not load on the trailer. And it can be one of the most frustrating things to work with in the equestrian world, I think.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. It really, really is a difficult thing to have to deal with. And
know what the biggest problem is? And you've found this too. You know your horse. You know what the situation is. You're trying to load your horse, and then all of a sudden there's 15 people involved. And they all want to help, quote unquote, and all they're doing is making it worse.
Exactly. Oh, I know. You see that so much too at shows especially. Someone will be... Everybody wants to get home, and there's one trailer that's blocking the way out because one stubborn horse won't load, and suddenly everyone on the showgrounds is trying to help. And I think, like you said, too many hands can actually worsen the situation.
Well, it does is freak the horse out.
Right.
So
suddenly have this crazy mob shoving them into a box.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have a couple of pointers that have helped me in sticky trailer situations, and I think the key to their success is patience. And we all know how valuable patience is when dealing with horses in any situation, but especially so when working with horses on trailering. One tip that I feel can definitely help most horses is using the lunge line as a tool. And this is a 2-person job, not a 15-person job. You can just have 2 people for this one. Many trailers have the metal tying rings on the sides for those who tie their horses to their trailers at shows and events. And you can simply tie one end of the lunge line to the side of the trailer and then carefully walk behind the horse with the lunge line. And while one handler is leading the horse under the trailer, you firmly apply pressure to the horse's haunches with the lunge line on the other side. And this acts as a guiding tool that applies pressure to both sides of the horse's haunches and encourages them to walk on the trailer. And again, this is something of course, you take your time trying to get them on, and if nothing else is working, then I think the lunge line's a really safe thing to go to. Secondly, grain. All horses can be coaxed by food. We all know this. And the use of grain in a bucket is a rewarding experience. And by offering them a taste with every step they take on the ramp and eventually on the trailer, they learn very quickly that the trailer is not such a scary place. Of course, this is a bit of an obvious statement, but when traveling with multiple horses, you should always load the most reliable horse on first, because the other horses will realize that one of the members of their herd is safe and relaxed in the trailer, and they should be too. And last but not least, they say practice makes perfect, but especially when dealing with horses, practice makes better. And practice loading on the trailer before the day of an event or show. The last thing you want to do is be trying to put your horse on the trailer for the first time when you have to be somewhere and you're in a rush. So,
and how many times does that happen?
I think it happens pretty often.
Yeah, it does. And also people will go, well, they're bad getting them on the trailer. I'll just wait till show day and then deal with it then.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so we're just going to totally stress my horse out before we take him to their first show. That's really bright too.
Yeah, that's the worst mistake you can make.
That's sort of like stressing the rider out before you take him to the first
right. And I mean, we spend so much time training every day leading up to a competition that why not go ahead and spend some time training your horse to trailer so you can actually get there on time.
All right, great. Well, trailering, as you said, is one of the most frustrating things, and I don't think there's a magic bullet that helps it. There's not a magic answer to this.
And everything works differently for every horse.
For every horse, and patience is the key to that. Yes. And also not having 15 people involved.
Right. 2 is good.
2 is
Maybe
good.
3.
Maybe 3 if you need to do the lunge line.
Right.
But all right, great, Mary. Thank you very much. And people can find you on your website. We have links to it on our website, of course. But it's Mary
Lauritsen.com.
Bahniuk. You couldn't make it any harder. Bahniuk. Lauritsen.com. And of course, you didn't pick that name, so I won't fault you for that. Thanks, Mary.
You're welcome.
Thanks again to Mary for all the work she does for us here at the Horse Radio Network. We really appreciate her helping out in so many different capacities over on the Dressage Radio Show and here on Horse Tip Daily. She's such a delight, as I said, to work with, as you can see. Well, be sure to join us for all of our shows. They can all be found at horseradionetwork.com, and we would love to have your emails. I just got a couple this week that we'll be addressing and tips coming up, but we would love to hear from you if you have questions or things that you would like to hear about on Horse Tip Daily. Just drop me an email at Glenn with 2 N's at horseradionetwork.com. We'd love to hear from you. Well, we'll be back again tomorrow with another new horse tip and another new expert. Until then, stay safe, everyone, and wear your helmet.
The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.